out here. For right now, again, it's decently quiet. We don't have much of anything going on at this point, which again, hopefully will be the concern as we go into the next couple of days at least. We're not seeing anything that shows a big possibility of severe weather. There's nothing that shows anything in the way of anything involving winter weather, so good news on that. And it looks like everything is where it needs to be, so we're going to go ahead and roll the open on this, as we say in the biz, and get things going. This is Monday, the 2nd of February. We are finally out of January, and that was a very long month. Again, this is the 2nd of February. Yes, that means it's Furry Fake Forecaster Day. We'll talk more about Phil's accuracy and how you should probably stick to flipping coins in just a little bit. We also have some new Skywarn spotter information. We're going to bring that to you and let you know a little bit more about what's going on there. We've got the chat function open on Twitch and YouTube. We are doing our best to get back to Facebook, but according to Facebook, we can't do any live updates until we have been on Facebook as an account for 60 days. So we will be back with more Facebook updates 59 days from today, which means it's probably going to be somewhere around April Fool's Day before we get back on Facebook. We'll see how well that works, but in the meantime, you can follow us at WDEF Weather on Facebook, and we'll be posting a lot more on there in the course of the next couple of days and weeks to see what goes on. In the meantime, things are again pretty quiet at this point and should be staying that way. Let's go ahead and get started and see what's going on out there for right now. The almanac page for today, let's get started with that. We managed to make right about where we should be on the high temperature for the day. We did manage to get to 52. The normal high is 53. We're starting to swing upwards on the temperatures, but we still have a decent amount of winter to go through. In fact, 6 weeks. It's amazing that the groundhog can predict it with that much accuracy right there, the amount of time it takes to get through the rest of winter. It's just staggers the imagination, doesn't it? Single-digit record low of 4 set back in World War I. 19 was the low temperature this morning, so no record lows, no record highs. Decently close to where we should be for this time of the year. Dry all the way through. We're behind for the month already by 1/3 of an inch, and we are behind for the year by nearly 2 inches. So it's 2026 is off to a very dry start already. If you're going to be heading out the door into tomorrow, there will be, again, more potential for some rainfall. That's not the right graphic. I've been doing some different work on the graphics to show you more new and interesting things. For tomorrow, the possibility of rain will be coming back our way. So if you're heading into the great outdoors, early in the morning, more clouds than anything else. Early in the afternoon, through drive time and sunset, there will be more chances of rain. I think there might be enough energy in the atmosphere to give us the potential of some rumbles of thunder. Maybe. There's just, again, a little bit too iffy potential out there. So I think maybe a rumble of thunder might be a possible problem, but I'm not too sure we're going to see too much of anything out there for right now. So decently quiet. Again, rain showers, yes. The rest of it, kind of a meh forecast for right now. The view from outside, some police activity, highway patrol on the 75 north to 24 west junction. Going to take a quick look at TDOT to see if there's anything here worth noticing. Probably construction traffic more than anything else. Nothing showing up in the way of problems at this time, so good news. Tomahawk crane and rigging camera from 2475 looking north toward the Chattanooga airport, the lights of Signal Mountain. You can see them off in the distance, but as of right now, TDOT and GDOT not showing anything in the way of a problem at this point from this particular area. Let's take a look at a couple more cameras. Beautiful night tonight. You were able to see the rising full snow moon. And from downtown tonight, again, a little hazy, but otherwise not bad. 1% List Scenic City, welcoming our new camera sponsor to the lineup here. View from downtown, Lookout Mountain with the lights up on top there. Ruby Falls. You can see it on the north flank, and Highway 27 traffic moving on through very quickly at this point. Roadways are dry and in very good shape. The full snow moon made a nice little rise right there at the north end of the Veterans Memorial Bridge. Not much being seen right there. And we did see another good view of the full snow moon coming up on Missionary Ridge from the Chattanooga Zoo camp camera, looking back toward Holtzclaw Avenue and 4th Street. Traffic moving along, not seeing any problems for tonight. Temperatures right before the top of the hour, and we're coming up on 10 p.m. Eastern, back into the mid-30s, so it is decently quiet, and again, not expecting too much of anything to be heading our direction anytime soon. Let's take a look and see what's going on with the current situation, which looks like this. We do have a cold front that is developing at this point out to the west of the News 12 viewing area. And again, what we're looking at for right now is going to be this front approaching with moisture coming in off of the Gulf of Mexico, and that's going to be giving us our next chance of showers and thunderstorms. Now, again, it doesn't look like much for right now. We do have the possibility of some rain. This is a radar satellite combination view, and as you look around the area here, from Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, back to the west, there is no rainfall taking place. So this is a very dry system for right now. That's the only one we've got. This one will be passing through as we go into tomorrow. And again, if this system has enough lift, we might see another couple of storm systems coming on through. Now, into the next couple of days, let me reset this so it'll work. Looking way out into the Gulf of Alaska, that is where we're seeing another storm system that will be passing on through toward about Friday. There is no real threat of anything here becoming a major possibility of rain or severe weather. It looks pretty intense. It's a very large, typically large, this is the largest storm system on Earth. So when you get a system like this spread out over several thousand square miles, that's pretty typical. You can see a good flow ahead of this with high pressure helping to escort that moisture-rich air off the Pacific all the way up into the Gulf of Alaska and around that area of low pressure way back out from the Bering Sea back into the northeast Pacific. That will be crossing the ocean and then heading our direction as we go into and around next Friday. But for right now, there's really just not that much brewing with this particular system. So as we go into tonight, yes, we will see by tomorrow the possibility of some showers developing along that front. And again, I would not be surprised to see a rumble of thunder. Odds are against it, but it is still possible out there. As we go into Wednesday, we start to see that front clear the area. There might be enough residual moisture into and around the Appalachians, the northeast part of Tennessee, the Virginias, the Carolinas, in the higher elevations. Maybe some snowfall coming on through there, but not much. That system clears the area. And then looking back to the north, our latest system drops through by about, say, dismissal time on Friday. But this one is also going to be very much on the moisture-starved side of things. So this we will see, again, some fairly mild temperatures. With this first system coming on through, we will dip the temperatures a little bit, but we'll be back close to normal as we get into and around the area of Friday afternoon. So yes, we've got a couple systems coming through. No, we don't see any winter weather, and no, we don't see anything in the way of severe weather either. So I think we've got a pretty good handle on things for the next several days, and that's some very good news out there. Low temperatures tonight, northeast Alabama, 20s, high 20s, a few mid-20s, and some lower 30s possible. Chattanooga will be just below freezing. Keep that up there as a benchmark so you can tell where we are. North central, northwest Georgia, temperatures in the 20s, some mid to high 20s for the most part, but everybody below freezing, so probably some pretty good frost on the windshield out there. Western North Carolina, especially Cherokee County, you'll be back in the lower 20s tonight, all this part of the News 12 viewing area. And then finally for southeast Tennessee, Lower 20s around the I-75 corridor, the higher elevations of the Appalachians back toward the North Carolina line, and otherwise temperatures right at to just below freezing. That, again, will be giving us some pretty good frost on the windshields, but that's as much winter weather as we are talking about at this point. There really is just not much going on. The really good news is that, yes, we've got some fairly cool weather happening, but we're going to be seeing the worst cold temperatures well back up to our north and east over New England. That's where, again, eastern areas of Canada, New England will see the worst potential of that colder air. Then we've got warmer weather starting to sneak its way in. It's going to take a few days to get all the way over here, but I think we're going to be looking at some very mild temperatures coming up as we get into and around the area of weekend and into next week. So that is where we should be seeing some nicer temperatures, and we'll show you the 7-day forecast coming up here in just a little bit. We do have, again, unfortunately, what looks to be a fairly dry situation shaping up. We have this information you're seeing here, the 6 to 10 day outlook for temperature and, in this case, precipitation from NOAA's Climate Prediction Center. This is showing a better than average chance of being below normal on precipitation. So we do see some chances of rain in there, not enough to bring us up to where we should be. Remember, if you saw the almanac at the start of this, we are still below normal on precipitation. So 2026 is already off to a dry start. We need more moisture, and according to this, through about almost the first third of February, we may not be seeing that much in the way of precipitation at all, if anything whatsoever. So hopefully we get some. We're going to need some out there, but it's just not happening for the time being. And unfortunately, again, we've got a pretty good rainfall deficit from the last about 30 days. We could definitely use some more help on that. Very dry from the Outer Banks down to the Gulf Coast, into parts of the Mid-South, into the Red River Valley and the lower Mississippi Valley. Much more moisture back to the north and east. So we don't have, again, a lot going on where it comes to a lot of precipitation. So it'd be nice to get some out there. But again, the 30-day outlook, the first one you saw was 6 to 10 days. This is, again, 30 days, and it looks to be at or below normal in that brown shaded area along and south of the Tennessee line. So not great news when it comes to precipitation across much of the area. No sign of any severe weather. Again, we'll talk about that coming up here in just a little bit. Excuse me. Everybody here at News 12 is fighting off some form of cold or cough at this point, and it's not fun, I'll tell you that much. So it'd be nice to get rid of this once and for all. 7-day forecast, again, as we go into the next few days, Island Cove, Marina, and Resort, looking back to the south and roughly west. That, again, is where we've got some very dry conditions. Now, we're going to see a lot less clear skies overnight as those clouds begin to move in. And that, again, will be the precursor to anything involving precipitation coming through. And that's where we'll see the best possibility of precipitation is going to be, again, toward about the area of tomorrow, to where we see the possibility of more precipitation on Tuesday than anything else. We don't really see much of anything happening in the way of problems for right now. We're going to keep a close eye on that, and again, hopefully that changes, because we could use some precipitation, but we're just not seeing it anytime soon. So that would be nice to have that, but again, what we've got is honestly just not much out there. Some rain Tuesday afternoon and evening, and that's really going to be about all that we wind up with. We're going to take the temperatures down from the lower 50s, close to normal, on Tuesday, lower 40s as we go from Wednesday into Thursday, and it will get quite chilly, lower to mid-20s once again in the morning on Thursday. Then we warm back up again into the mid-50s, and then the lower 60s coming up as we get into and around Monday. So we'll be getting some nicer temperatures out there, but hardly anything in the way of precipitation outside of what we see Tuesday. Friday, again, that's where we see the dip in temperatures by just a little bit as that front comes through, but really not that much going on. So for right now, we may get a temperature drop, maybe a few clouds on Friday, but beyond that, we just don't really see much of anything happening at this point. It'd be nice, but just for right now, really not picking up much of anything in the way of rainfall or winter weather or severe weather. So definitely, again, some fairly good news on that. And we will be watching that with a lot of interest. So keep it tuned to News 12 for more. Our HEP heating weather window picture of the day. This is a neat little experiment to do with your kids. If you've never done this before, you get your usual amount of bubble solution. If you get some glycerin from a hobby store or a hardware store, a couple of drops in the soap water solution, mix it up, and that glycerin may help to make a more sturdy bubble. But you go out when it's below freezing. This works a lot better when it's way below freezing, like 20s, teens, single digits. If it's close to freezing, it might work, but again, much colder is going to be your best bet on this. And then you see the ice crystals begin as it goes from a liquid fluctuating bubble to a solid ice crystal bubble, and you can actually see the ice crystals growing on the surface of the bubble. So if you've never done this before, great wintertime experiments to do with your kids or grandkids when there's nothing better to do. Really great to be able to see a picture like this. It's just to show how beautiful. My math teacher once called it the algebra of ice. Also made a good Doctor Who novel title, as I understand. But thanks a lot to News 12 viewer Linda Parks from Decatur, Tennessee, for a nice view of a frozen, mid-frozen bubble. That's our HEP heating weather window picture of the day. If you've got pictures, we would love to see what you are seeing out there. So please go ahead and send them in to us. We would like to take a look and see what you're looking at out there. Quick view from the secret reef cam at the Tennessee Aquarium, which you can get on your website at tnaqua.org. But again, send them to us by email, pictures at wdef.com. You can also, again, go to our social media pages, drop them off there, or go to Weather Window headquarters at wdef.com/photos, and yours could be the next HEP heating weather window picture of the day. So thank you very much to everybody who submits those pictures out there. Have to say a quick congratulations as well. We do this every Friday through Monday. It's your opportunity to pick the picture of your favorite in the HEP heating through the week weather picture of the day. And thanks a lot to News 12 viewer Claire Randall from the Appleton area. Your picture of a snow bunting, that's what this species is called. I had no idea about this. It's so cool to learn new things. Really neat to be able to see this. But Claire Randall, your picture was the most popular from last week. So congratulations. You don't win anything except bragging rights, but again, thanks a lot for everybody for submitting the picture. We'll have another update coming up a little bit later on. You can submit your pictures again at wdef.com/photos. And I wonder if did I keep it? No, I did not. Oh, it's around here. There we go. If you'd like to vote, go ahead and please vote in our website polls, which again, the picture choice is just one of the polls we have up there. A new one goes up at midnight every day. So you'd like to pick up a new one, go to our website again, wdef.com/vote now for more. I want to take a quick look. Again, we have been talking about this for a while. We are in winter weather season. There's no question about that. Again, December through March, this is the time of the year for very cold weather. There's no question about that. As we've seen a lot of activity when it comes to snow and ice, but it is also prime time for severe weather. This right here, January through April, is the time for severe weather. So now, when nothing is happening, that's the best time to get ready for anything involving severe weather. One of the best ways you can do that is to become a Skywarn spotter. If you've never considered this before, please do so. Maybe you've moved to this area of the country and you've never gone through severe weather before. Back in Kansas, a couple was transferred by Santa Fe Railway from San Bernardino to Topeka, Kansas, from their rail yards there to the rail yards in Topeka, and the wife had never been quite so scared as she was when we started talking about tornadoes on my first TV station that I worked on, and she actually preferred the earthquakes of Southern California to the tornadoes of Kansas, because you never knew when the earthquakes were coming. With tornadoes, she didn't like them because there was too much warning that we gave them on TV. It was just too much anticipation for her. But in order to not fear something, you need to know more about it. And this is one of the best ways that I have ever seen in getting the community ready for the possibility of severe weather. This teaches you what to look for, what to report back to the National Weather Service, either by using cell phones, or if you're an amateur radio operator and your National Weather Service has a National Weather Service amateur radio station, you can get that information to them, dialing them up, asking 911 to report your information, or if you pass the course, they will give you a toll-free number to call, so you can go right to the severe weather desk of the National Weather Service and say, this is John or Jane Smith calling in from downtown Chattanooga. We're seeing a rotating wall cloud. We have baseball-sized hail, and we have winds of estimated 60 miles per hour. That information from a trained spotter can help the National Weather Service plot what's going on with that storm at that location of the report, and tell everybody in the path of that storm what might be coming your way. And that will help them issue better warnings, keeping everybody protected. The more Skywarn spotters we have, the better off we all are. That's just the plain idea of it. The more people that can spot for the National Weather Service and see and hear and think about what's going on, that is a very good thing. And this is one of the best programs out there for learning about severe weather. This one, again, if you are a resident of Hamilton County and Chattanooga, this is primarily for you. If you live out of this area and want to attend, that's great. Check in with the National Weather Service, again, on their website at www.weather.gov/MRX. That's the National Weather Service in Morristown, Tennessee, who is holding this meeting coming up February 26th. Again, this is totally free. You don't have to pay your taxes, my taxes help to pay for this, but all you have to do is register for a head count purpose, just to be a polite neighbor, and that right there will help the National Weather Service determine if they need to schedule another meeting, because so many people show up that they can't get everybody in the assigned location at this particular spot. So if enough people show up, that's great, because then they have to hold another meeting to get everybody else trained. That's wonderful. But they won't know that until you tell them that you're coming. So again, please register at this website. Now, this is for Hamilton County and Chattanooga proper. Want to remind everybody out there, there are different number of meetings coming up at different locations, and this one was just announced a few days ago. Cleveland, Tennessee, Bradley County, just east of Hamilton County and Chattanooga. A week before the Chattanooga meeting, February 19th, will be held at Bradley Central High School. That's on Lee Highway in Cleveland, Tennessee, 6 p.m. Monday, February 19th. Also, again, if you would like to attend this because you live around this area, go to weather.gov/MRX, and that way you can sign up and be ready for that. Any other meetings that are coming up in the News 12 viewing area, we will do our best to let you know about them as far in advance as possible so you can get these on your calendar. These last about an hour to an hour and a half. Again, with a break in the middle, a lot of information. I've seen kids as young as 6 or 7 attend these meetings, and that's great news because they want to attend, they're curious. These meetings can give kids a little bit more of a grasp of control over what feels to be a very uncontrollable situation. So if you would like to, again, attend this, please think about doing so. It's, again, totally free, an hour and a half out of your time to show that you care enough about your community to learn about severe weather and what to do. This is a great opportunity, again, to learn more. So please consider becoming a Skywarn spotter. Again, the more spotters that are out there, the better protected that we all are. It's a great scientific effort. It's a citizen science effort if you want to consider it that. And if you can do so, please attend. If you can't do so, tune in tomorrow night, Tuesday night, and we'll talk more about how you can become a spotter without attending the meetings if you can't make it. If you can't, that's, again, something we'll talk about, all from the National Weather Service. And while I'm on the topic of severe weather, please make certain that you are well protected, enough to make certain you are in communication with the National Weather Service to know what is going on. These radios that you have anymore, they're not really radios, they're more radio with a computer attached to them. And you can program the computer to run the radio to make certain that you don't get bothered for warnings for counties that you don't want to be bothered for. So if you just want to know about Hamilton County, you can program everything in for Hamilton County. Everything else will just not appear, and you won't hear anything. So if that's what you want, that's great. A great opportunity to learn more. Once you get one of these things, you can pick them up again at any. Usually a grocery store will have them, hardware stores, department stores, anything like that in the electronics section. This particular model or something like it will be about $40 to $50. And I was going to see if my assistant had left the Skywarn spotter radio. Looks like it's on the other side of the studio at this point, but you can get them in handheld varieties to take with you out on the trail or out canoeing or whatever, or camping. You can get desktop models that will fit very nicely with your decor to let you know what goes on. Sounding an alert, either flashing a light or, again, just interrupting with voice. This is a life-saving piece of equipment, and if you haven't gotten one yet, please do so. This is one of the best things that you can possibly do out there when it comes to anything involving severe weather. I think that's going to wrap things up for right now. I don't think there's too much that we haven't covered for tonight, so we may just go ahead and say goodnight for right now. No questions on Twitch, and let's check and see. Nothing showing up on YouTube either at this point, so not picking up anything in the way of questions, but anybody who's watching this, please keep tuned to News 12. We'll keep you updated as what is going on again for later on tonight and into tomorrow. There's precious little happening for right now, and again, hopefully it'll stay that way, because after the last couple of weeks, it would be nice to just really not have much of anything going on. Let's give you the morning forecast here, and then we'll probably just go ahead and sign off for tonight. Clouds will be on the increase through tomorrow, and we could see again the potential of just clouds in the morning. Don't forget that News 12's Chip Chapman is taking the day off, so News 12's Russell Stroud will be in to give you an update on the forecast bright and early on Tuesday morning. I know I did the school day forecast on here. Let's see if I can find it back real quick. Oh, let me just mention this real quick. Interesting information from NOAA. As today is Furry Fake Forecaster Day, in the last 10 years, Punxsutawney Phil has been right 30% of the time, which means technically, if you want to think about it, you would have better odds forecasting by just flipping a coin than you would in trusting a rodent forecaster. So did Phil get it right 6 times out of 10? No, he did not. So the accuracy leaves something to be considered on there. So just something again to consider if you haven't really thought about it, if you're getting your weather from the Marmot Meteorology School. All right, switching over to, again, science-related weather and the forecast for tomorrow. Temperatures will be on the chilly side, but dry and cloudy in the morning. And then as you go into the afternoon, that is where we will see the potential for temperatures to be close to normal, but then we will also see the chances of rain making their way back into the forecast. So we do have, again, the potential for some activity going on in the afternoon, maybe even, and I'll go out on a limb here to say, possibility of some lightning, maybe, but we're talking about a minimal amount, like less than 1 in 10 chance of anything like that. It'll be a kind of breezy, not as breezy as today, so cool, cloudy, rain in the afternoon as you go toward dismissal time, and that should be about it for the forecast. So that is going to be the worst of the worst from what we're seeing into tomorrow. So again, if you want to take the umbrella with you, would not be such a bad idea. Not as cold as it has been, so definitely good news on that. But for right now, that will wrap it up for this evening. Again, if you'd like to watch more about what's going on, head to our website at wdef.com/weather. Our YouTube page, our Twitch page, that's loaded up. It'll have the repeat performance of Weather Overtime to keep you advised as to what's going on. And again, I think that's it for tonight. So there's not really too much happening. We'll keep you advised on all of that for right now. But in the meantime, thanks for joining us either live or again on our repeat channel at our website. Russell's got your forecast in the morning. I'll be back Tuesday afternoon and evening to keep you updated. Stay tuned for more with News 12 on air and online, and we'll see you again coming up on Tuesday.